What's up, you cinema freaks, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host as always, Jay Schatzer, and today I've got a fabulously obscure Mexican horror flick lined up for us. It is Fernando Mendez's 1959 under-the-radar gem. It is The Living Coffin, and this one is just a crazy combination of horror and pretty much Wild West cowboy action. So let's just dive into this weird hybrid. Here is The Living Coffin. The Living Coffin, aka El Grito de la Muerta, is an obscure and heavily atmospheric Mexican horror film, which mixes the macabre elements of the genre with an interesting twist of old-fashioned Western goodness. Draped in haunting style, yet sprinkled with comedic moments, this is one unusually enjoyable late 50s production that delves into unorthodox territory and never looks back. If you're in need of something obscure and out of the cinematic norm, then look no further. The Living Coffin has exactly what you're looking for. The film follows a cowboy named Gaston and his compadre sidekick Coyote Loco as they stumble onto a most unusual of creepy situations. It appears that an old family ranch and its owners are under a maleficent curse, which transforms their recently deceased into ghoulish vampires, doomed to kill their own living kin if superstitious rituals are not obeyed. Feeling sorry for these poor haunted ranchers and the beautiful mistress Maria Elena Garcia, who now inherits the estate, Gaston vows to get to the bottom of things, even if it is at the expense of his very own life. Gaston Santos takes on the brave and bold role of the pure-hearted cowboy Gaston. In almost swashbuckling style, Santos imbues his character with a traditional charismatic style, which often results in over-the-top barroom brawls and good old-fashioned shootouts. Profusely genuine in that do-gooder sense, he helps the film push along into some rather unsuspecting moments and entertaining thrills. The most unusual thing about his character, though, is that it is almost approached in a Sherlock Holmes-style mold, as we are witness to Gaston's detective work in solving this most unusual case of vampire lore and sinister swindlers. In general, his performance is quite enjoyable, and Gaston Santos melds perfectly within the world of gunfighters and vampire ghouls. Rounding out the cast is an assortment of expressive characters that aid in maintaining that unorthodox style that the film just thrives in. Maria Duval takes on the breathtaking role of Maria Elena Garcia, the beautiful and haunted ranch owner who finds that her ancestors are rising from their graves at night, while Pedro de Aguilion takes on the whimsical role of Coyote Loco, the steadfast confidant and sidekick of the heroic gunfighter Gaston. These two contrasting characters bring a great deal of diverse elements to the forefront, with Maria Elena Garcia bringing about the traditional classic horror elements, and Pedro de Aguilion presenting a more slapstick and comedic tone to the strangely foreboding production. It's an interesting combo that seeps into every crevice of this unusual flick. From gothic visuals consisting of darkened hallways, foreboding swamps, and decrepit tombs, to the more action-packed moments of the film, like gunfights, fistfights, and everything in between. It goes without saying that The Living Coffin is a fascinating combination of genre elements. As far as horror imagery is concerned, the film has it down-packed, filled with creepy depictions of vampiric monsters, juxtaposed against a haunting backdrop that just fits perfectly next to the more whimsically infused Universal monster flicks. As surprising as a heart attack, The Living Coffin honestly creates a cinematic world that is definitely in a realm of its own. It's haunting, it's fun, and above all, it takes you to places you've never really seen before. And what more can you ask in a late 50s Mexican horror production? If you're in search of an obscure wonder, then my cinema-loving friend, you've just found it. The Living Coffin is without question a harrowing hybrid of fascinatingly robust proportions. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the fascinatingly weird Mexican horror flick, The Living Coffin. Just ultimately entertaining in its pursuit to wow us with things we've truly never seen before. The film is just unique, and I advise you to just hunt it down and check it out for yourself because it really is fun. But guys, that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have time, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you with the next movie review. Take care.